Canto 3. Summary. Having submitted to Virgil, our pilgrim is guided through the gates of hell. An inscription over the gates tells of their creation and their purpose, and he is again terrified. Virgil encourages him, reminding him of what they are there to accomplish. This is the realm of those who have lost the good of the intellect, that is, the good of knowing and seeing God. Immediately, the pilgrim is confronted with the sound of weeping and wailing coming across the dark air. The sound is coming from the neutrals, scorned by both heaven and hell, having lived neither with infamy nor with praise. They are eternally blown about like grains of sand in a whirlwind, tormented by flies and wasps. Discovering who these are, the pilgrim spies one he thinks he knows. Though unnamed, it is likely Pope Celestine V, whose abdication after only 5 months allowed the mantle to pass to Boniface VIII, whose actions regarding Florence in particular led to Dante the poet's exile. Further on, the pilgrim sees the great river Acheron, where Charon the ferryman leads the damned into hell proper. Crowds gather at the shore, waiting to be taken across. They are full of hatred for everything, eager to cross over to the land of eternal pain. Virgil explains that divine justice spurs them on, their fear turning into desire. Despite the waiting torments, they are where they want to be. Overcome by the sights and sounds, Dante falls in a dead swoon. Canto 3. The Neutrals and the Acheron. Through me one enters the woeful city. Through me one enters everlasting pain. Through me one enters mid a lost people. Justice moved my high exalted maker. Divine might, supreme wisdom, primal love made me. Before all other things I was, saving that which was and is and will be. And for eternity I will endure. Abandon all hope, you who enter here. These darkly colored words I saw written on the top of the gate. Therefore I said, Master, these words are hard to understand. He answered me, as one who is aware. Here one must abandon all suspicion. All cowardice needs to be put to death. We have come to the place of which I said you would see the miserable people who have lost the good of the intellect. Then he placed his hand on mine and led me with a cheerful countenance, whence I was comforted, to the secret things inside. There sighs and weeping and deep agony resounded through that dark and starless air, for which there at the beginning I wept. Confused tongues and horrible languages, words of anguish and accents of anger, cries high and weak, the sound of hands beating, all made such a tumult, turning itself always in that darkened, timeless ether as sand when blown about by the whirlwind. My head encircled by horror and wrongs, I said, Master, what is this that I hear? What are these, so defeated in their pain? And he said, This miserable manner holds captive the unhappy souls of those who lived neither in infamy nor praise. They mix with that base chorus of angels that rebelled not, nor were faithful to God, but only always acted for themselves. Banned from heaven, lest they mar its beauty, hell will not receive them, lest the guilty find some reason to glory over them. And I said, Master, what is so heavy to them that makes their lamenting so strong? He said, I will briefly tell you. These do not have the hope of final death, and their purblind life is so very low, they envy every other allotment. The world lets no report of them exist. Rejected both by mercy and justice, think of them no more, but look and move on. And I, looking again, saw a banner whip around and hurry by so swiftly it seemed to be ashamed of any rest. Behind it came such a very long train of people, I could not have imagined that death there had defeated so many. And looking around, I recognized some, especially one, the shade of him who, from cowardice, made the great refusal. Instantly I understood, and was sure that this was that sect of contemptibles, hateful both to God and his enemies. These wretches, having never really lived, were naked and deeply irritated by the wasps and blowflies that were present. And these lined their faces with tracks of blood, blood which, having mixed with tears at their feet, was gathered together by gruesome worms. I looked beyond them and saw a great host, people on the shore of a great river. Therefore I said, Master, grant me to know now who these are and by what convention they appear so eager to cross over, as far as I can tell in this faint light. And he answered, These things will be made known to you when we bring our steps to a halt upon the wretched shore of Acheron. After this, with eyes ashamed and downcast, fearing my speech was burdensome to him, I refrained from speaking till the river. Behold, coming across to us by boat was an old man, his hair shock-white with age. He shouted out, Woe to you, depraved souls! Hope never more to catch sight of the sky. I come to bring you to the other shore, into eternal darkness, heat, and ice. And you, living soul, who are standing there, separate yourself from those that are dead. But after seeing I did not leave, he said, By another way, and by other ports you will come down to cross this shore, not here. A lighter bark must ferry you across. My leader, Charon, do not fret yourself. This has been willed in that place where one wills what one is able to do. Ask no more. That quieted the ancient woolly cheeks of the ferryman of the fuming swamp, whose eyes were encircled by wheels of flame. But those souls, miserable and naked, changed cheek color and chattered with their teeth as soon as they understood the cruel word. They were blaspheming God and their parents, the whole human race, and the place and time and seed of their conception and their birth. Afterwards they gathered all together, weeping loudly on the rancorous shore that waits for each man who does not fear God. The demon Charon, eyes of living fire, beckons them all to him, harvests them all, and beats with his oar those that take their ease. As in autumn, when the leaves turn and fall one at a time until the empty branch sees all its golden spoil upon the ground, similarly, the foul seed of Adam, one by one, throw themselves from that shoreline at the signal, as a bird to its call. So they go over, across the dark waves, and before they disembark over there, again another crowd brings itself here. Now, my son, said the courteous master, these that die in the holy wrath of God come together here from every nation. They are eager to pass over the stream, because divine justice so spurs them on that fear has turned itself into desire. Thus no good soul ever passes over. Therefore if Charon complains about you, you now can understand his grumbled sounds. Having finished this word, that dark country shook so fiercely, the very memory of the terror soaks me again with sweat. That tearful ground gave forth a gust of wind, which flared up in a bright vermilion light that overwhelmed each of my senses. I fell like one who is taken by sleep.